Well, hello, and welcome to this week's episode that I want to start with a question. For those of you who live in the Northeast with the daylight savings time, do you feel impacted by it getting dark at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon? Do any of the changes that happen with the change in this particular season, right, moving from fall into winter and then winter itself, does that have an impact on you? My name is Terri Cole. I'm a licensed psychotherapist. I'm a relationship expert, the founder of Boundary Bootcamp, and the upcoming Real Love Revolution starting April 2018. Woo! Anyway, I find as a psychotherapist for many years that I had many clients who have this, we call it the winter blues or seasonal affective disorder, SAD, it is also called. So, a bunch of you had written in to me and said that you have this experience because I asked on Facebook and all over the place, what do people want to hear from me? What do you want to learn about? And I had a bunch of people saying that they feel depressed in the winter and gain weight. So, I figured I would do a video for you guys about this if it impacts you. So, we have shorter days, colder temperatures, darker mornings, which is another thing for me personally that you wake up and it's still dark. You're like, wow. So, winter can be this challenging time. So, first of all, what is your own script about winter? Because I know so many people, including the clients I was referencing, who would always say, and my own husband talks about being depressed. As soon as it starts to get dark earlier, he would see it as for him it feels depressing. For me, I see everything as like it's cozy. It gives us a reason to stay inside and light the fire and whatever. But there is an actual scientific and physiological response that many people have when you actually have this disorder, the winter blues or seasonal affective disorder. So it's not just a psychological thing. There's two aspects that I'm going to talk about today. One is for you to get clear about what is your own script about winter. Do you say you hate it all the time? Do you tell everyone you wish you lived somewhere warmer? Are you constantly reaffirming your negative experience of winter? Because that is definitely something I'm going to try to inspire you to flip your script about winter, right? There's no problem modifying your routine because of the change of weather, but it doesn't have to actually be depressing or limiting. Of course we have to change our routine because it's freezing out now, at least where I live, it's freezing and getting dark at 4:31 p.m., which can be depressing or not depending on how you look at it. So, I think that how you experience the colder months to some degree is up to you. To another degree, if you know that you have seasonal affective disorder, if you really know that you have winter depression, is basically what it's called. This is biochemical, right? This is an actual physiological experience that's brought on by lack of sunshine. So let's talk about that for a little bit because that's not about the power of your mind or, harnessing the power of your intention. That is something that is physical and that is real. So, according to the Mayo Clinic, right, winter onset seasonal affective disorder symptoms, what do they include? Depression, hopelessness, anxiety, loss of energy, a heavy, like a laden feeling all the time, like in your arms and your legs, having social withdrawal, like not wanting to go out and see people, oversleeping, which is a big one, loss of interest in activities that you once enjoyed, which is, of course, also a symptom. Many of these are symptoms of just regular depression, not just winter depression, weight gain, and difficulty concentrating. So these are all symptoms of this winter depression, as we call it, or seasonal affective disorder. So there are a bunch of things, and I'm creating them. They'll be in the blog as well, so you can read them. But that there is a link between lack of vitamin D and this type of depression. There's a lot of studies that say that perhaps you are D deficient, and you can easily get tested for that. And that vitamin D, it's not really found in vast quantities of the food that we eat. So we actually need to use either supplements or eat a lot of food that have vitamin D in them because how we produce D is from the sun's rays, which is why they say that it's healthy to get like 10 minutes of sunlight on your face or your arms or part of your skin daily without SPF for the vitamin D levels to be where they need to be. deficiency, there's many things that come if you do have a vitamin D deficiency. I actually take supplements. I just got my blood tested and I was a little bit low, not terribly low, but a little bit. So I'm taking 2,000 milligrams a day of vitamin D. And listen, you guys, hello, I'm not a medical doctor. So I'm not telling you to do anything other than perhaps go see your doctor if you're having this experience. And they can probably just tell you, I mean, the vitamin D I'm taking is just over the counter. So there's also these lamps. So they're fine for your skin, but they're like sun lamps, right? They're specially designed lamps whose rays they mimic sunlight to help your body produce more vitamin D. And studies have indicated that sitting in front of these lamps for as little as 30 minutes a day can also affect the brain chemicals linked to your mood, so thereby lessening the symptoms of seasonal affective disorder. And as with any medical condition, as I said, please consult with your doctor to get a proper diagnosis and discuss treatment options. One of the Another thing with seasonal affective disorder, there's many things that you can do to remedy these winter blues. So let's talk about some other actions that you can take that would be helpful. Exercise. I know nobody wants to hear it, but it's a true story. So committing to 30 minutes of exercise a day, it can be easy. It doesn't have to be outside, right? It could be inside. Join your local YMCA like I do when I live upstate. You can do a yoga DVD right in your living room. There's a ton of stuff out there that is so easy and so inexpensive. One of my friends, Tara Stiles, has a 4 CD set that was on sale recently. There's so many that you can check. And if you're really starting out and you're really physically unwell, you can do chair yoga from right where you're sitting. So wherever you are, I promise you that there is a way for you to start doing this for yourself, moving your body, right? Because what we want to do is we need to get those endorphins flowing, those feel good hormones in the brain, the chemicals in the brain. So you just got to find something that you really like to do. You guys know, if you follow me, that the main thing I do, because I'm upstate most of the time now, is Zumba. So it's a dance workout and I do it like 5 days a week because it's fun. I don't want to go on the treadmill ever. It is, to me, not fun. I hate it. But I love a group thing. And there's also aqua Zumba if you guys can swim, because swimming is a great way if you have something near you, like a YMCA. It's a great way to get back into being physically healthy because it doesn't stress the joints as much as other exercises do, especially if you have a weight issue. So anyway, there's many, many other ideas. You guys get it. You need to move your body in some way because being sedentary can be very depressing. The second idea is meditation. I have so many free meditations on my YouTube channel. You guys go there, just look up meditation, you'll find it. Just find a way to work it in, a dedicated meditation practice. And it's fine to use guided meditations. You don't have to become a Buddhist monk or Deepak Chopra, as I like to say, to create some internal stillness and silence. And I promise you that internal stillness and silence will change your life. It really, really does. Creating a sacred space in your home. Create what I like to call a little Zen den, which will remind you of the sacred space that you need to tend to inside, right? Your internal Zen den, which is really all about knowing yourself, creating stillness and silence so that there's some space for your thoughts, so that you're not on this chaotic schedule. So listen, if you have a butt and you have a pillow, you're a meditator, my friend. You do not need to do it for an hour a day. 10 minutes a day is fine. And the last thing I want to talk about is the power of your intention. It isn't only the power of your intention, but the power of your intention is really important for you to tap into when you want to change anything in your life. So if you have the winter blues, if you have seasonal affective disorder, I want you to look into it medically, of course. Get in touch with your doctor. Do your own research on all of this. But the power of your mind is actually my wheelhouse. And I promise you that if you start to use the power of your mind to change the way you experience winter, as well as taking steps if you do have seasonal affective disorder. We're talking about two different things, right? So if you have a biochemical, a physiological response to lack of sunlight and probably a deficiency in vitamin D, that's one thing. And if you just hate the winter and hate the cold because you are a sun baby and that is your nature, that is another thing. And you may have both of those things. But with the latter, certainly the way that you think about and how you experience winter has everything to do with the way that you think about it. So I'm going to ask you to harness the power of your intention, because unless you do have a biochemical experience, you are the same person in July that you are in November, right? You can actively choose to flip your script about the winter months and create a more joyful and inspired fall and winter experience, right? So, setting your intention on creating and maintaining your own radiance, right? Your powerful life force energy from the inside out, and see what magic this new attitude can bring for you. See if you can't look at things differently, because as Wayne Dyer would say, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that is so very true. So look at the ways that you're constantly talking negatively about the winter months and see if you can't change that. You know, you don't need to be so identified with hating it, or get better at planning a warm vacation during the winter months if you live somewhere cold. Like, get into actual problem solving mode, which is different than just complaining about it. So, I hope that you found this helpful, because you guys, life is short. You don't want to spend, if you live somewhere that actually has seasons like the Northeast, you don't want to spend a season and a half, which is how many months of your life annually, probably 5 months annually, unhappy or feeling depressed or blue or low. You really, really don't. Because honestly, you guys, before you know it, you wake up and you're like, wow, how did that many decades of my life go by? It's kind of mind blowing. So I hope you felt inspired. I'd love to hear what you think about this episode. If you like this episode, please share it on your social media channels, whatever those may be. I hope you have an amazing week with all kinds of good hormones flowing through your brain. And as always, take care of you.